social nature. As humans, we are wired for connection. Our survival, both as individuals and as a species, has always depended on our ability to belong to a group. Validation, whether in the form of praise, recognition, or approval, reassures us that we are valued members of the tribe. It tells us that we are doing something right, that we are worthy of love, respect, and inclusion. Without it, we feel adrift, uncertain of our place in the world. This craving for validation makes us vulnerable. When someone offers us praise or recognition, it triggers a release of dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. We feel good, not just about the praise itself, but about the person who gave it. This creates a bond, a sense of loyalty or gratitude that can be leveraged for influence. Leaders, marketers, and even friends often use this dynamic to their advantage, offering validation as a way to build trust, inspire action, or gain compliance. Consider the workplace, where a manager's praise can motivate an employee to work harder or stay.
All right, here we go. So check it out. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what's coming up for this week for the Dark Psychology Study Week. So as you know, I was looking around with what presentation and books I'm going to give you as far as the study of evil or the science of evil. So I have a playlist that's up that's from Philip Zimbardo, The Lucifer Effect. It's 14 videos. I'm going to play that one. Not now. I'm just letting you know that's coming up. This is going to be on a post, by the way, and as well on the site. I mean, on the Facebook page. But more than likely, it's going to be a post. We're going to listen to The Lucifer Effect by Philip Luzardo. And we're going to listen to a sample of his book. Okay, first, and then we're going to get into the lecture and the event. What happened is Philip did a project. He did an experiment with like 12 or 14 people and put them in prison or put them in jail. And I don't know how long they were in jail, probably 30 days or something, 90 days, whatever. And watched how they reacted and what happened to them in the experience of being in jail. To look into his experiment of why people are evil. Now, Julie Shaw, she has 2 books. We have played a sample of her 2 books. Julie Shaw uses Hitler, but she also, what she does is she gets more scientific, more in depth into the brain of an evil person, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play some Stoic playlists about how you know you're around an evil person. Emotional Puppet, we don't listen to this so many times, but it's, you know, a lot of these audio books we play over and over by the same author. Majority of the time it's the same author. This is the playlist right here, Philip, so you can just look at it. And then this is him talking and giving the full lecture on it, just to give you a sample.
Natural Reader. AI voice generator is the easiest way to clone your voice for commercial projects.
Understanding how good people turn evil. He looks like an opera singer.
It's not only a remarkable introduction, but it used to be in the old days to give a lecture, it required a piece of chalk and a blackboard. Now it takes a village, 57 people, high technology, to give the same talk that I used to give when I was a kid. I'm so happy to be here and so happy so many of you come. I know it's Passover. I know it's the women's championship game. I know it's raining. And so it makes me feel really good that you all came.
Even though we can say this is something from, I'm going to give it to the 90s. I want to say late 80s into the 90s, but it's definitely the early 90s, this presentation, right? I mean, we can always find out the year or the date, you know, you know, how the cameras were in these times to what they are now. And so, I mean, the ones that were accessible to us in those times to who they are now. And so, oh shit, okay. So you can watch that on your own. Gonna go ahead and go into the stoicism of how you know you're around an evil person. We're gonna do that next. I'm gonna go ahead and let this play out for a little bit. So go ahead and just listen to this while I find that. Let's go.
What I want to do is a lot of things today, and I think we have an hour and a half to do them in. I do want to thank some of my former students and dear friends and publishers of my textbook, Psychology and Life and Core Concepts in Psychology, from Alan Bacon across the town. I'm going to spend some time with them tomorrow. So thank you all for coming. Let me begin back on April 28, 2004. That's where the Lucifer Effect was born, because I was in Washington. I belonged to an organization called the Council of Scientific Society Presidents. The president of every one of the 60 major scientific societies, chemistry, biology, physics, et cetera, and psychology, it's the only soft science, meets twice a year there. And I was actually elected president of that group, so I was president of the presidents. And while I was in Washington for this meeting, I turned on the television, which I rarely do, I rarely have time, and here were these horrific images on 60 Minutes. And these were the images coming out of Abu Ghraib. People piled up naked in pyramids, and the famous one with the guy on a box with the electrodes on his head. Pictures of dogs, you know, about to attack prisoners. Picture after picture, and it was incredible. And then what was more incredible was the soldiers put themselves in the pictures. Not only male soldiers, but female soldiers. And this was incredible. How, you know, why would anybody do, what were they thinking? The moment you're in the picture, you're automatically guilty. And then immediately after the showing, up comes the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Myers, saying, it's a few bad apples, a few rogue soldiers. We have no evidence it's systemic. The military is great, and on and on and on and on and on. And President Bush got on right away and says, we're going to get to the bottom of this. Paren, it means we're never going to get to the top of this. And on it went. Well, what was done was really inexcusable. It was not inexplicable. And I was shocked, but I was not surprised, because I saw all of those images before. Not the pyramid, not the naked pyramid, but prisoners stripped naked, prisoners with bags over their heads, guards making prisoners engage in sexually degrading activities. Those were part of the Stanford Prison Experiment 35 years ago. And so what I knew about the Stanford Prison Experiment, which I'm going to describe in some detail today, and I do it in excruciating detail in the book, 10 chapters worth, is that I knew on August 14th, 1971, that every boy who went into that prison was a good apple, because we gave them psychological tests, et cetera, et cetera. And what the study is all about is how good people can be corrupted by a situation. So I said, before I'm ready to accuse American soldiers of being bad apples, I really would like to know something about their personality, but more importantly, I'd like to know something about the barrel. But how was I going to do that? I'm a professor, this is Baghdad, this is all this over there. And so a student of mine from introductory psych at Stanford, working for NPR, also remembered I showed those pictures in my class, tracked me down, I got on NPR, and I said, I'm countering the bad apple metaphor with the bad barrel. Well, that got stirred up. They love sound bites in the media. And one of the people who was listening was Gary Myers, who was the legal counsel for one of the soldiers, Sergeant Chip Frederick. He calls me up and says, we'd like you to be on our defense team. I didn't have time to get involved in that. And I said, of course, yes, sure. Because now I could find out about the guy, I could find out about the situation, and I could also find out about what was the system that created that situation. So I then switched from being a psychologist to an investigative reporter, and that's what I'm going to talk about today in part. So my talk is, actually before I did the book, I call this the Lucifer effect, and we'll see why. And it's really understanding is the key word, how good people, or could be ordinary people, average people, normal people, first begin to behave in ways that we could label as evil, as bad. The question about why do people go wrong is a question we've asked from time endlessly. Philosophers ask, theologians have asked, historians have asked, psychologists never ask those kind of questions. We like to ask very specific questions because we have a lot of very specific techniques for answering them. And we leave these big questions up to the other people. A little aside, when I was a student at Brooklyn College where I did my undergraduate work, I wanted to be a psychologist as a freshman because I had been a kind of street psychologist growing up in the Bronx. Because it's all about street smarts and who you can trust and who you can't trust. Until I took my first course in introductory psych, and I got a C. C is not so bad, except I never got a C in any other course from kindergarten through graduate school. And I got the C because the text was boring, the lectures were boring, the tests were boring, and psychology was boring. This is 1950. And so I said at the time, if I ever was a teacher, I would never give a boring lecture. If I ever wrote a book, I would never write a boring book. And if I ever did psychology, I would never do boring psychology. And so I switched in sociology, anthropology. And they ask big questions like that, but they never have an answer because they have no good method. So I switched back into psychology in senior year, and I said, you know what? Why don't we ask the big question and then use the techniques that psychologists have, experimental research, really good assessment. And so I realized that we leave the study of institutions to anthropologists, to sociologists, to political scientists, and psychologists study the scientific behavior of individuals. And nobody studies the person in the institution. We spend our life in institutions, in families, in schools, in hospitals, in prisons, and then in jobs, and then we end up in old age homes. At least some.
Okay, this is good. This is really good. I would rather listen to this with a pen and paper. Yeah. That is going somewhere. I knew I had a feeling. One thing I will tell you when it comes to book and knowledge. One second. When it comes to books and knowledge, the one thing you got to do, all right, is go by what you feel, what you not much, feel, but also what sits right with you with a book. Okay, be like, you know what? It feels like this is going to be a good book. This what I read and everything, and I'm telling you, you'll have it. You can do the same thing with audiobooks. Forgot I was on this mic. You can do the same thing with audiobooks. You just take the book, listen to it, fill it out. I always encourage, listen to that intro. Never skip the intro, okay? The intro is going to give you what you're going to get inside the book. The intro is like the most intricate part for a writer, like telling you, why did I write this book? What is the purpose of this book? What is the purpose of everything I did? My personal experience and what drove me to even write this book and put it out to the world for someone like you to have it in your hands. So that's key. Give an introduction to things like this. Listen to the intro. The intro is giving you the purpose of why they're doing it. All right, so we are going to maybe the weekend listen to that, and I'm thinking my headphones. I try not to really. I have to probably listen to that one on my note as well as presented to all of you completely, all 14 of them. All right, so let's go. Let's go. This one is called, you see the title, 10 evident signs that there is an evil person next to you. Let's go. But you know, we always scroll down to see the list. Bro, please play.
Or leaves chaos in their wake.
Hold on, it's going to pause.
Unfortunately, evil doesn't just exist in myths or movies. It's real. It's around us. And even more unnerving, it often operates in subtle ways. But don't worry. With a little awareness, you can spot the warning signs and protect yourself. Evil people don't show up with horns or tails, but their actions reveal their true nature. They manipulate, destroy, and exploit your kindness for their gain. The good news? You don't have to be a detective to recognize them. Ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius have shared timeless wisdom on how to identify evil and guard yourself against it. In this video, I'll uncover 10 evident signs that you're dealing with an evil person, signs you simply can't ignore. These insights will empower you to maintain your peace and safeguard your energy. So, let's dive in and learn how to navigate this world with clarity and confidence. Ready? Let's get started. Number 1, constant manipulation. Seneca once said, "He who has many fears also has many things to manipulate." This isn't just a reminder, but a warning about the power of manipulation in the hands of malicious people. These individuals don't thrive on integrity. They flourish by distorting reality, turning lies into their most effective weapon. I remember a time when I worked with a colleague I initially trusted. He was skillful at praising me in front of others, making me feel recognized and valued. But behind the scenes, he began spinning subtle narratives, quietly undermining my work and inflating minor mistakes into major issues for the management. When I sensed something was off and decided to confront him, he remained calm, saying he was merely helping me improve. It made me question myself. Was I doing something wrong? I started doubting my abilities. In truth, he wasn't helping me at all.
We don't have to, we don't
He
gotta
was
listen to
pushing
all
me
this.
into a state of dependence,
We don't listen
making me
to
feel
enough. We don't listen to enough. Darbo manipulation is, because I know I said for the Darbo was the last book we were supposed to do like last week. Well, it would have been the next study. Darbo manipulation literally is dark psychology 101, just focused on certain parts of the dark psychology, the deflecting something, reverse psychology, something and something. Because Darbo is just the anagram. So I can just drop the link for y'all, listen to that yourselves and take notes from the last notes, or just have it be a book I play. I'm looking to go in different directions and learn a little bit more than what I already learned, but I also do like to repeat, write, listen, you know what I'm saying, and then develop and journal and write my own things as well. So let's just go ahead to the list. We need to listen to this. Your stoic voice and tone and shit. Okay. Constant manipulation. Constant manipulation is someone who tends to always speak in a very manipulative tone, always squinting their eyes when they speak. That's always a very clear sign of a manipulator. They're always saying little things under their breath. They're always speaking under their breath. They're always trying to say things 10 steps ahead of you and all kind of shit like that. They tell you to do things just to test you to see if you're going to do it. Like, don't do that. Don't touch that. Don't do shit like that. Those are your constant manipulators. A mask of charm. Don't smile at me. I don't like people who smile at me when you approach me. Something about that bothers me. You know, I like serious people because I'm a serious person. I don't smile at people. I don't walk around here smiling at people, and I don't like people smiling at me. Lies without conscience. This is a motherfucker that's a habitual liar and they don't care. And a habitual liar is someone who believes their own lie. That's what makes their lying so good. Like, so, you know, I have a cousin that she's been lying since the age of fucking 8 years old. 8 years old. Okay. So I could imagine the level. And so she's been manipulative since that age, and she had no choice because it was survival. Her mother was on crack for majority of her motherfucking life, and when she was off of it, she jumped back on it. So she's been manipulating and been manipulative all her motherfucking life. And so she's also a liar. When someone is a manipulator, the manipulator is a good liar too. Lack of empathy. We're going to get back to that one. The hunger for control. The hunger for control is a part of manipulation. People who always are constantly manipulating are people who need to be in control. I tested one of my managers. He's a good emotional manipulator. I don't have the zodiac sign, but he's a very good emotional manipulator. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people get upset with him. He gets his way. He gets his way a lot. Okay? But he's a good emotional manipulator. Okay? And the thing about it is, I tested it because he has his way of receiving control. If you tell him no, he tells you no. He constantly, I can see how he does it. You see what I'm saying? I just constantly see how he does it. I don't have a problem with the manager. I don't take him personally. A lot of people can take to heart the things that he say and the way that he says it. You know what I'm saying? He could be offensive and stuff to people. And I was like, oh, okay. He's a good emotional manipulator. See what I'm saying? Because he had something I had asked him. I asked him quietly. And I did that on purpose. Because I knew if I asked him silently, everybody was going to look. You know what I'm saying? Like what they talking about. And so I was like, yeah. And then I was like, man, fuck it. I don't even want this shit no more. And I ended up getting it. But he ended up saying, he was like, you know, did I hurt your feelings and this and that? I feel bad. I feel like I hurt your feelings. And I was like, nah, I got tough skin. Now I was affected by what he said, but when I was affected, I know it's going to sound strange what I'm saying, because I'm trying to teach you. I'm really trying to teach y'all something here. It has to work double. While you're feeling yourself be manipulated, because this is something I had to learn myself, because I can sense people's manipulation, but sometimes my brain can't my brain could never figure out, well, how the fuck do I get through the emotional manipulation while still being in my mind? You see, that's the thing you have to fight. You have to learn how to do. And while I was feeling what I was feeling, I was like, what was it in his words that made me feel that way? And I said, my perfectionism. I'm a perfectionist. I like things. I don't like to make mistakes. I like things to be a certain way. I like to do my job very well. I don't like mistakes. So that's my control issue. You see? So I was like, even if he is critiquing and telling me to do things a certain way, I don't fight what he says to me. Only one time I was like, I'm not left-handed or whatever. He's like, you know, you got to step it up. You want this, you know, for this position and this, that, and the third. And I said, you know what? I'll just do what he says. You see? Sometimes even people who are good at manipulating, sometimes you can just sit there and just play along with the manipulation. But people who are good manipulators, don't think that they don't see that you're a manipulator too. You see what I'm saying? He's very smart. Everyone thinks he's stupid, but I know he's very smart. He has this thing about him, but I'm not stupid. How do I say it? Because I know I use it on a couple of words, but this one is okay. He's a gamer. Gamers are very smart people. Be very careful with people who are gamers, okay? Just like that one who don't like me, that's a gamer. See what I'm saying? They always play games. Gamers are always playing fucking games, okay? So, what am I saying? So when this person comes around me, or this manager wants something, you know, hey, you know, and do it this way, whatever, I follow along. Because what happens is that gives me a good reputation. Like, okay, she knows what she's doing. She's teachable. That's the word. She's teachable. That's what people who like to be in control. They have to have something that it's not even about control. It's about something they can trophy to. Like, no, that's a good worker right there. The teachable, this and that. So you play the game smart, okay? Because all of this stuff can be a part of your playground too. You just have to know how you're going to play it on the chessboard, how you're going to do your moves versus theirs. Let me see. Blame game and deflection. That one's obvious. Like the blame game. Let's play the blame game and deflection. Got to be careful with that. You know, you got to be careful with that. This one is the hardest in relationships because you can feel like things are your fault. You can feel it's like, you know, an emotional in the relationship world, the blame game and deflection is something serious. And the blame game and deflection is something serious in the world of family as well. The pleasure of pain, going into the pleasure of pain and we're going to get into lack of empathy. Salation as a weapon. Salation as a weapon. Okay. Jealousy in disguise. Ooh, jealousy in disguise is the biggest one. I think jealousy is like the most evil thing in the world is jealousy. The level of what people do out of jealousy is crazy. The unrepentant heart. I don't know what that means. So we're going to go into my lucky number. All right.
Number 4, lack of empathy. Seneca once observed that humans are social creatures, not meant to live solely for themselves. Empathy is the bridge that connects us, allowing us to share in the joys and sorrows of others. Yet, for the truly malicious, other people are nothing more than pawns in their self-serving games. They do not genuinely care about your happiness or pain unless it aligns with their personal agenda. The lack of empathy is not just a flaw in character, it's a glaring window into a hollow soul. Imagine this. You're sitting across from a friend, pouring your heart out about a struggle that's been weighing you down. Instead of support, they deflect. "Oh, you think that's bad? Let me tell you about my day," they retort, dismissing your vulnerability as trivial. This is not an isolated act. It's a pattern. These individuals are unwilling, or worse, incapable of stepping outside their own interests to connect with your experience.
And I don't think nothing's wrong with this. If you don't do well with emotions and other people crying in front of you, if you don't do well with consoling people while they're going through something, this is how you can tell them. And I'm being serious. This sounds like a very emotional situation that you're going through. I'm just not really the person to help you through. No, I'm just not. I just don't do well with people who are emotional and going through things. I don't know how to give a hug or comfort people through this. So I'm not really the person that you need to be talking to about this. And I want you to feel no type of way about that. Bob Barney said a guy at her work was talking about how he went through, drug addiction and this and that. And she cheered him on and was like, I'm happy that you got through that. And kept it moving. This is where people get you railed in with their emotions. Somebody comes to you crying, you don't give a shit. Unless it's your own child. That's where I think caring should extend. Your own child. That's where you should care. That's just me. But you shouldn't give a shit about nobody's whimpering and crying about some shit. Because you need to be asking yourself, why are they sharing this with you? Why do they feel like they need to come to you crying? Do they think that you're weak? You're vulnerable? That you're stupid? You got to think about it that way.
Their detachment manifests in a chilling indifference or even silent delight in your misfortunes, leaving a void where empathy should reside. Empathy isn't just a nice to have. It's the cornerstone of meaningful relationships. Without it, interactions become transactional, one-sided, and emotionally draining. Malicious individuals leverage their lack of empathy to further their selfish goals. They may feign compassion when it's convenient, but their apathy becomes evident the moment their mask slips. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, no more arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. So what do you do when faced with such indifference? Set firm boundaries. Protect your peace and do not allow their coldness to diminish your worth.
The pleasure of pain. Let's get to the next one. Who cares about what he's saying? He right, though. To the person that want to cry to people, set firm boundaries.
Number 7, the
and
pleasure
know that
of
that's
pain.
not the hold on. He's right. Set firm boundaries for the person crying to anybody like us.
The most chilling traits of a truly malicious individual is the satisfaction they derive from others' suffering. Epictetus wisely advised, associate with those who make you better. Yet for these individuals, they are not interested in growth or support. They seek opportunities to degrade and find joy in the pain around them. Whether subtle or overt, this toxic pleasure is a clear signal that you should distance yourself. This delight in others' misery often begins with small, seemingly harmless actions. It could be a sarcastic remark, a mocking laugh at someone's misfortune, or a smirk of satisfaction when witnessing someone else's failure. Over time, these behaviors reveal their
I've been through this all my motherfucking life. And people happy to see me in pain. I have been through this all my motherfucking life.
true nature. They don't seek to elevate themselves through hard work or merit, but by standing on the shoulders of those they tear down. I once had a friend who reveled in sharing the missteps of others with a strange enthusiasm. One day she chuckled when a co-worker was publicly reprimanded in the office. At first I thought it was mere indifference, but as time passed, it became clear. This was her way of feeling powerful. Instead of offering support or empathy, she magnified others' struggles to make herself appear superior. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than one who never faces adversity." However, for such individuals, adversity isn't a lesson, it's a tool. Their joy doesn't come from achieving anything meaningful, but from watching others stumble. They sabotage, gossip, or intentionally harm to feed their ego. At the root of this behavior lies deep insecurity. They need others to suffer to feel better about themselves, but this fleeting satisfaction is just a temporary mask for their inner emptiness. To counter individuals like this, Stoic philosophy underscores the importance of safeguarding your self-worth and choosing relationships that foster growth. Recognize the signs, their indifference, their enjoyment of others' pain, or their fixation on failures to feel superior. Step away from them, because every moment you spend in their presence is a moment you lose peace and self-value. Surround yourself with those who lift you up, those who celebrate your growth rather than diminish it. These are the people who not only respect you, but encourage you to be the best version of yourself. True joy is never built on the suffering of others, but on shared success and genuine relationships. Number 8, salation as a weapon. Marcus Aurelius once said that humans are born to cooperate. Our strength lies in unity, shared experiences, and the encouragement of those who care for us. But for malicious individuals, this natural order is precisely what they aim to disrupt. One of their most potent weapons is isolation.
Let me tell you something. We live in a patriarchy. And if you think that you're going to get good people, sincere, loving people, if you think you get caring people, if you're going to get people who do things with good intentions in this fucking world, you're fucking stupid. Not just naive, but you're stupid. You better understand what kind of world we're in. And you better play the game as you need to be. Okay? If you need to take, even if you take yourself out of the motherfucking deck, at least you know when to take yourself out of that deck like the Joker. You understand? Because let me tell you something. Everybody, okay, wicked. Anybody been on drugs, anybody that's an alcoholic, anybody that fights a lot, anybody that had opportunities that was taken away from them, they're going to be wicked. They're going to have something about them that's wicked. And if they're nice, being sweet, they're hiding something. And best believe the person that's the closest to them gets to see every fucking broken piece of that person when you're not around. This is why people are shady. People, some people are just shady because they're just so fucked up internally. That's what shady is about. It's just the fucked up individual, period. But in the times we're living in, they're really feeling it because everybody's laughing at them. Like literally everybody is laughing at their suffering. Fuck what Eric Adams said. Everybody's laughing at their suffering. Even the people who are suffering with them are laughing at their suffering. That tells you something. They don't even have compassion. They don't even see what it is. Everybody keeps saying, MAGA found out. Yeah, there's a few MAGAs that found out. I'm not saying that, but trust me, everybody's laughing at people suffering right now. People are afraid. People are thinking all kind of crazy shit with Trump in office, the Black immigrants are the most afraid and the most angry and the most hateful and resentful. Oh, trust me, it's if it ain't came out, it's gonna really come out. You got people trying to talk about how segregation needs to come back. I don't agree with that, because mine are already segregated without niggas. Okay? And their lives is so much better and creative and fun and like way better children. So you need to understand what kind of world you live in, whether you want to face that or not.
By separating you from loved ones, friends, or support groups, they not only strip away your emotional strength, but also make you easier to control and manipulate. I once had a friend who initially seemed genuine and caring. Over time, however, she started making subtle negative comments about people close to me. "Your best friend doesn't really treat you well," she'd say with a serious tone, or "Your family doesn't understand you the way I do." At first, I brushed off her remarks, thinking she was just looking out for me. But as time passed, these comments became more frequent, creating doubt and distancing me from the relationships that had always been my strongest support system. Her approach was gentle, yet calculated, effectively isolating me from those who mattered most. This tactic is no accident. It's a deliberate psychological maneuver used by toxic individuals to sow insecurity and make you believe they're the only ones who truly care. The more isolated you become, the greater their control over you grows. But here's what they don't want you to realize. True strength comes from connection, from genuine and solid relationships. Unity is the foundation of resilience. If you start noticing feelings of loneliness or detachment from your loved ones, pause and reflect. Reevaluate the situation, trust your instincts, and don't hesitate to reach out to those who truly matter to you. Speak to friends, family, and close confidants. They are the foundation that keeps you grounded, even when life feels unstable. Stoic philosophy reminds us that we are not meant to live in isolation. We are part of a larger community, and authentic relationships are where our true power lies. So, don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Protect your connections, and you'll find the strength to rise above any manipulation. Number 9. Jealousy in disguise.
Want to get into software development, data analytics, or IT and security? Well, do yourself a favor and grab this course on Udemy. Just a beginner in Python? What you don't know, you can learn it here and be ready for your first big break. All right.
We're going to go to the one because we're not doing this. There we go. We know all of these already.
Number 10. The unrepentant heart. One of the clearest signs of an evil person is an unrepentant heart. Marcus Aurelius taught that we should not waste time debating what a good person should be, but instead focus on taking actions to improve ourselves. However, evil individuals often do the exact opposite. They cling to destructive habits, never admit fault, and certainly have no intention of repairing the damage they cause. They live in denial, justifying their actions with elaborate excuses, making it seem as if the problem never lies with them. Think of someone you've known, a person who always had an excuse for every mistake. When they hurt others, instead of apologizing, they'd blame the circumstances or argue that others are no better. Whenever someone tried to explain how their behavior caused harm, they'd deflect, shift blame, or even accuse the other person of overreacting. But what truly stands out is their complete refusal to change. To them, self-reflection and correcting wrongs are seen as weaknesses, while stubbornness is viewed as a strength. This mindset starkly contrasts with Stoic philosophy. A Stoic understands that self-reflection, admitting mistakes and making amends are not signs of weakness, but of courage and self-respect. Those with unrepentant hearts not only hurt others, but also reject the opportunity for personal growth and maturity. If you're close to someone who constantly justifies their actions, avoids accountability, and never seeks to repair the harm they've done, take a moment to reflect. Not everyone is willing to grow or change. Protect yourself from toxic relationships like these and invest your energy in those who lift you up. People with the courage.
This is what happened with the friend that I had. It was that right there. Okay, I see it. This is what happened with that. I have come to realize this in life, that there are just people, they don't see. They don't see that person that's holding them down and fucking up their life. They don't see what's making them toxic. They don't see the toxic people around them. And it's not your responsibility to do that. What is your responsibility is the choice you make. If you want to have compassion and continue on with that person, have some empathy and continue on with that person, or you want to go your own way. That's what I have learned. You want to know, honestly, you are wasting your time trying to sit down and talk to them. Because I kept wondering, like, do I want to sit down and talk to this person? Do I want to write them an email? It's actually a waste of time, because they are where they are and they're going to be stuck there until they don't want to be there no more. You get what I'm saying? You know, it's the whole you can't make the horse drink type thing. Yeah. It's about you. You have to understand your experiences is about you. It's not about anything else. Because you have to, if the person you're with or anybody you know is around a questionable person, you need to be questioning the person that you associate with, that you care about. You need to realize, do I need this person? Do I need to invest this type of feelings into this person? Because what I see with who they associate with and what these leeches and whatever they have around them, it's not going to grow into nothing. Let me tell you something. I have this for me. Any broken family relationship, any way of being raised by like a grandmother, a grandparent, uncle or auntie, any way of having a disarrayed relationship with the actual parent in their life, there's always something broken about that person. Okay, I'm not saying you can't be broken by having a mother and father, but I learned that people who actually have a mother and father that's married together, this and that, those people still have some hope for relationship stability and love because they've seen it all their life. Now, for those who do not come from that, you're going to be dealing with a lot with someone like that. You're going to be dealing with someone who they're going to be abusive. The people I just mentioned, and especially if they come from foster care or whatever, even if they had good foster care parents and they know they've been adopted, you're still going to deal with some type of abuse. I really have come to see that. Even if somebody grows up in a family of people of the same sex, but those two parents that they see love each other, that child grows up. Even I've seen poly relationships with children, and I see how the energy and how the children grow up and stuff. There's still some kind of love, and it's hope for love. Okay, we really, who come from being raised by grandparents, don't have good relationships with our parents like that. Our parents not together. We are abusive people. I don't care what nobody says. If somebody else be like, no, I'm not abusive. No, there's something about you that is abusive. There's something about you that is angry. There's something about you that is mean. No one has ever proven me wrong about that who comes from those situations ever in my motherfucking life that I have been living. Till the casket drop. Until then, I will keep saying that. And every person I know who has come from that type of environment are fucking mean. They're fucking mean. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And if somebody is mean from having two parents, then even that person, they'll be mean, but their meanness is just to hide. But other than that, they'll give you the shirt off their back. Let me tell you something. My sister has her mean ways and the ways that she is. But at the end of the day, she'll give somebody the shirt off her back. I'll never give you the shirt off my back. I would never give you the shirt off my back. You better hope that I give you a shirt that I don't even wear in my closet. I'm the mean one. I'm pretty quiet and everything, but I'm the one who's the mean sister. Well, we didn't grow up together, but out of all my sisters, I still know, because she's not even mean. She got a bunch of friends, and I'm actually the mean one. And I never thought I would ever say that, because I never thought I was, but I am. So I realized that anybody that comes from that, yo, I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, yo. Nah. Ain't nothing sweet about anybody that comes from that shit. Hold on. Let me see if I got another video for you. Y'all can debate me on that too. Word. Y'all can dead ass debate me on that shit. Cause yo, I remember, man, like I just, if you really just pay attention with your life and be honest, if you pay attention to people who believe that their lives is like everybody else's life, like a mom, dad, this and that, look how shocking to the soul it is for them to hear when someone is like, nah, bro. I remember I said that to this one chick one time. She was like, don't you? I was like, nah. She was shocked. She was shocked. That's why people, if you come from a mom and dad lifestyle, happy and all that shit, you better get somebody else that came from that too. Because you go ahead and you go and you try to be compassionate and empathetic and get somebody else who's not like that, 9 out of 10 times they're going to cheat on you. They're going to be cheating on you some kind of way, emotionally cheating on you. They're never going to ever be in that relationship completely with you. Because something about you for them can never be trusted. And also there's an anger and a resentment that could come up because you have a life that they don't know nothing about. Or maybe you have a life they had to watch on the outside looking in. You understand? So I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. All right, so that's the evil presentation. That, this stoic shit is starting to get on my nerves a little bit. And I'm gonna tell you why this stoic shit is starting to get on my nerve, because y'all be wanting to speak from a good place and all this type of shit. And that ain't the world, bro. That ain't the motherfucking world. I got a fucking 80-something-year-old woman at the job who got a problem with me. I don't even know this lady. But she got a problem with me. And I'm like, why she got such a problem with me? I stopped asking. I really stopped asking this question, because I had to start realizing why people have a problem with me. Just accept it. I just come to just accept it. Like, fuck it. You're just not going to like me. I'm not likable for those who's not like me. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. There was a video I was listening to, and it was itching my asshole. It really was itching my asshole because I didn't agree with any goddamn thing that Mammy was saying. And I'm so like wanted to send it to one of the divestors to fucking listen to and fucking demolish, because she was talking about segregation and all this type shit. Anyway, I need to rest up a little bit more before I start my day. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it down here. Gonna be a quick show. I'm out of here, y'all. Yeah, man.